So starting off, let's just show how this works. Let's give a simple 2x2 board with it thinking 4 moves ahead. And my strategy is going just to be to win, so do that. Elmir sees that he sees a possible 10 out of all of the score because he's assuming I'm the minimum. I'll do that. He still sees a 10, and let's go here, and he sees that there's 7. He's assuming I'm going to try and minimize, so he's going to try and set up that 4, but I'll take that, and his heuristic dropped to 1 because I took that 4. Anyways, moving on to how this actually works. Here's the class board, here's all the setup stuff, the number of spaces needed for each of the rows and columns. He's 2 times x plus 1. If this basically sets up, this is the corners, this is the middle of the box, this is the top and bottom of each box, and this is the left and right of each box. Board update takes a look at what action is done and where the box is, what the action is, and who's doing it. Places the vertical line and horizontal line respectively. And occupied just means if there's something already in there, like if there's already a vertical line in there, then returns occupied, making the user choose a different move. Then it calls check all boxes, which checks every box, and it takes a look at all of the adjacent blocks, and it uses this checkbox, and this checkbox just checks all sides of the box to see if it's empty or not. If it's filled on all 4 sides, it adds it to the score. Get remaining moves, just returns all possible moves used for the algorithm. Print board just prints it. Get stuff is just getting all this stuff. Get state is used by get stuff, and that just gets the current state of the board. In the algorithm, gets all the moves, looks at how many moves are in there. If it's 0 or if dep is 0, it just returns the heuristic and what action is done to reach that heuristic. Now Elmir is always going to be trying to maximize his point value. So he will duplicate the board, which just makes a new board, update that board, calls minimax again, and does the same thing where he gets all the moves, does that, until he reaches this point, and he's going to get a bunch of variables back, and then he will choose the maximum value out of all of them, and then set it to that. Make sure that the mini, or negative infinity, is going to be equal to that maximum value, and if mini is ever bigger than the maxi, then it will just prune it off and return that value. So, same thing for minimizing user, same kind of deal, except this one looks for the moves that the player would take in order to minimize the maximum possible amount of points. So takes a look, and it does alternate should have mentioned that, but once this is called, it looks at the maximum. Once this is called, it looks at the minimum. Basically more setting to each other and more pruning.